Again, my camera went off. Alright, let's continue. I guess I'll just put this as a series. Let's go back to that. What was I saying? My parents met working together at the Spartanburg Herald Tribune. My mother was an editor, and my father was a journalist. My mother ended up getting a teaching certificate and also getting a MBA in economics from Wayne State in Detroit, Michigan. My father also got a master's in I'm trying to remember. Got his master's in international business. His first job offer was in Detroit, Michigan, way back then. At Ford, actually. He ended up at Volkswagen, but he started out in Ford. Let's go to my home. No, let's not go to my home. Too much. There's Matt. My dad. Where's my dad? This is my father, everyone. He comes from Buffalo. I actually don't want to talk too much about my father, and if maybe I'll make a great guest appearance in one of my tutorials, but, there's my mommy. There's my mom. I lived with them both. I wonder if my dad has this. Yeah, well, my dad always has his contact information up. He doesn't care. He went to University of South Carolina. He got his degree. It's actually one of the best degree programs in the country for international trade and commerce. They obviously retired back home with my dad and my mom. So this is also something I got wind of, which I was not overly happy about. I am adopted. I don't have a problem with it. I think of them as my real parents. It's my sister. However, something about them thinking that because I wrote in my blog about my dad, that I was somehow dating him or having something with him, sexual of nature. That is really, really rude. Alright, and I do want to confront this issue. It's not difficult, and this was someone that's on my Facebook too. Or was. Or knew of it, I should say. I'm not going to say who exactly it is, but that's very, very rude. And very, very, ignorant. Alright, when you can see my father, you can see my father, alright? But guys, has the same last name as me. It's not like he's hidden. Okay? There I am, Amanda Cohen. Alright, there I am, Amanda Cohen. It's my Facebook. There I am right here. He doesn't hide the fact he's married to my mother, Marcia. Marcia like the Brady Bunch. There was some sort of weird thing about Mother's Day. Not Philip, but right here. And you know, again, like, I don't know why you want to see me like this, and I mean, basically it's your own problem, but I also don't want my parents to go down with your issues with me, your jealousy complexes with me. That was Mother's Day dinner because I lived with my parents and I made Mother's Day dinner for my mother. Alright. Bibimbap for Mother's Day dinner with Amanda Cohen from Ron Cohen. For my mom. You guys, my mom. I made dinner for my mom for Mother's Day. She's right there. It's not like he's sitting around like I'm not married. Alright? He has my mom in most of his photos. It's not like he's sitting there with me. Alright? It's pretty obvious they're together. It's not very difficult. Okay? And it's fairly annoying to me, personally, to be living at home and to do a nice thing for my mother and have it obscured and twisted. When, in fact, they've been married since the crack of dawn as well. So that's kind of a blow to, maybe not my ego, but a blow to theirs, and I'd like to clarify that. Here you are sitting here thinking he's some sort of like pervert. And in reality, you guys, they've been married longer than most of you have. Alright? That annoys me. You're sitting here trying to incarcerate a couple that's been married for 40 years. Alright? And I know who it's coming from, and seriously, your past discrepancies with dating or sex, I'm sure, is much worse than my parents ever were. Alright, my parents have been married for... I can't find it, it's too far now. For longer than any of you hope to be married, for some people. So, you know what? You gotta lay with my parents. But back to my actual tutorial. His reckless ego one of the people that a few of you people have misconstrued as a dating situation. He was not dating me. None of these people have dated me. The only one that has dated me is not a Zangan person. My boyfriend is not from Zanga. What else do I have to say about that? Let's see. What amazed me throughout this time was, of course, I kept mentioning this guy, Paul Partison. And like anyone, he has multiple social networking sites. And yet, you thought he was multiple people. He, in fact, is not multiple people. Sorry, Paul, I'm going to have to bring this up again, but, you know, you're all online anyway. I spent, a year and 4 months here, and I've only talked about one Zangan blogger as in a sexual or pseudo-romantic dating something nature. So I'm not sure where you would think I kept switching up people. Like I got people contacting me saying, why are you dating a different person every day? Why do you keep switching it up every other day? Like, I don't know where you're coming from, because I've only talked about primarily one boyfriend. Mentioned my 2 exes from college and high school a few times, and talked about Paul Partison. So as you can see, Reckless Eagle mostly talked to me about Paul Partison. He didn't like them. He didn't like that crew of people. And he had issues with Paul not, well, I guess, in his words, harassing Malaysians. And I think I said this in one of my other cutoff videos. What was I saying? I'm not going to go too much in, obviously, the trolling, but Paul Partison, or Paul Adlin, was actually once upon a time one of my friends, the friends here, not friends like buddy friends in the blogger system. Not on his Paul Partison blog, which I will show you momentarily. Alright. There we go. It's very commonly known. He had his Paul Partison .zanga.com and his Solid State Theory Zanga blog. That was his 2 major blogs. Everyone knew this. The Malaysians knew it more, I guess. We had a little bit of an argument, me and her. Not over Paul Partison, but just an argument between each other. And he, of course, people, I know you can't actually, unless you are a Zengen person and on my blog, you can't see inside it, but you also could have asked me, obviously, but we'll clarify this now. He is not, or in his solid state theory blog on my, as one of my friends adds. But he was at one point. He was for a long time, the majority of the stretch. I would say almost a year. He was linked on to this site. And he made several comments. I just deleted them when I transferred everything over. I'm gonna have to block that. Anyway. Alright, here we go. Alright. He actually was one of my friend ads at one point on this blog. Let's go back to my main page. The whole issue with some of these bloggers, if you saw in the comments, bashing him or saying derogatory things about him, was because they knew his blog was here. I tried to censor it as far as I could, and he only made like a handful of comments. It's not like he was here every 5 seconds. But they knew he was here, and they, I think from what I get, try to get at him through me. His people, he's made some enemies here, alright? And they knew he was here, and from what I get, tried to come at him via me and go through the grapevine, or the program setup, where, of course, if, say, I post a weblog entry and they comment, he gets also a thread onto his blog that someone's made a comment. Let's see. Made a comment onto my blog. There we go. Let's see that. Okay, Buddy71. Is it just, say if you recommend something, that's something I gotta go through. Say if you recommend someone else or read another comment on someone else's blog, it still feeds back if you're connected as a friend, right here, to, put it like that, to whoever is your friends. So that's what happened there. That wasn't me trying to get Paul Partisan, or woo him, or date him. That was me telling people to shut up. I'm serious, I was telling people shut up. He was right there. And obviously, whatever issues they have with each other is their issues, but, you know, I'm sure not going to say Reckless Eagle was not in his right to be angry at whatever Paul Partisan did. I just didn't want it on my blog, or to be in the middle of it. And honestly, I'm not Malaysian. So, I guess, like, no, it's not okay to bash Malaysians or be a Malaysian prejudice, but it doesn't affect me directly, if you know what I mean. So, and honestly, some of what he was saying was kind of true. I actually agree with a little bit of it, though he didn't need to be. Whatever. That's between them. But anyhow, I think he finally understood that they were just sitting there bashing him, and he did delete me off that blog. But that is the same guy. That's still Paul. That's still Paul Partisan or Paul Adlon. Let's see. What's his name? All right. Here's the pictures. That's pictures that were sent to me. People did send me this. They sent me a link to his Twitter to unencourage me, maybe. I don't know. That was weird. To dissuade me from having whatever they thought we were having. Which is kind of a weird way to I don't know, I thought it was pretty funny. I still think it's funny. Sort of a weird way to make someone hate you. Or hate another person. So there he is, that's his main blog, Paul Partisan. Which I never added or tried to add. But this link was sent, the other link was sent. A few inflammatory emails were sent, just kind of telling me off and telling me little things about Mr. Paul. I wish I could show you those. I can't actually, but so that was the whole situation. I know some people got confused, and that's kind of a layout of what happened. That is actually all the same guy. I wasn't talking about multiple guys, I was actually talking about one person. He just obviously has a Twitter. He has a few different blog accounts. The solid state theory guy is not a different guy towards the Paul Partisan blog. That is still actually the same person. So no, I was not talking about 100 billion guys. I was actually mostly talking about one guy. But as I said before, I'm taking that out, and I did. So I think he's completely out of this. Of course, there was that problem with people thinking he was my ex-boyfriend, and I again thought it was funny, but some people did not find it so amusing. But of course, you know, I can kind of separate my personal life from what this is in my magazine. So, and I didn't know his past, so. And he really wasn't that bad to me. I don't think he likes me overly, but, you know, it doesn't really matter, does it? Shit, I don't swear that often, don't worry. I'm just frustrated because I want to finish these tutorials. Let me make sure. Oh, there's my jewelry. So cute. Alright. We're only going to say that. We only had one conversation. It's no big deal. Or I didn't think it was. But this is the picture I keep posting. And no, I'm not posting his site into my blog or the content. This is inside. This is messages. This is our private conversation that I'm having to make public right at the end here, but not anything he would probably care about. So yeah, he was actually one of the friend followers for about a year, and I'm pretty sure he added me back on onto a different blog. I'm not gonna discuss which blog that is, but and he doesn't particularly seem to care either way. So this is the weird picture that looks like my ex. Other pictures don't look like him. Oh, what am I doing? So that's what that was. And yes, that is the same person as this guy. That's just one person, yes. The reason for this investment, I guess, on Xanga, or the seeming dating scene, was actually, oh, that's not what I wanted. It's starting to get confused between systems. Was more or less because I had to write back to love, dating, and relationships. I had to cover, obviously, these different issues for a teenager and tween tutorial. Tutorial and advice column. It's more like a column. I know it's in a blog, but it's more like a column. And in order to do that, and in order to find people that wrote on these issues, I had to cover a little bit about my dating past life. I mean, I wasn't talking about the present. I was actually going back and recounting my yesteryears. Where is it? Let's see. Not that many. I didn't actually talk about my dating life that much. But I knew, actually, people would get confused. And especially, it's hard to discuss some very controversial, very taboo issues. Such as social, sexual fetishisms. Sorry, I'm too nice. Without it being turned into a personal proclamation. Definitely Again, the woman, Natalie, Shimmer Body Cream, covers a lot on gay and bisexuality and fetish. But in order for me to do that, and again at a teenager age, teenager and young 20s, that is important. I remember going through that, and in larger society as far as culture, pop culture especially. Something like Katy Perry. So that's not a personal issue, that's a larger socio-economical issue. Definitely to do with careers. Okay, Katy Perry. Definitely to do back dating to Betty Page, an actress. 9 Inch Nails pretty much became famous of sadomasochism. Lady Gaga even. These social, cultural trends that are not really personal sex lives. It has more to do with money. But in order to money and obviously human rights as far as free speech and free will and the right to a justified life. So these needed to be covered, and I knew they were going to be perverse and twisted, as human nature is, I guess. So I did actually try to find a cover boyfriend. No, the guy I'm seeing now is not a Zingan, but he wasn't my boyfriend when I first came on here. It has been a year and 4 months. So I tried to find a fake pretend boyfriend to cover, or, not to make it look like I had a boyfriend on Xanga. My boyfriend, obviously in real life, is the guy I met in New York City. That I met just on the street at a coffee shop at Starbucks. But